can see clearly.
So with LASIK, the way we do it today, you can have the gift of near and far vision and rejuvenate your eyes and have the vision you had pretty much like you did when you were 25 years old.
LASIK on the matter today.
Ladies and gentlemen, live just inches from the Strip in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Pub Crawl, where each week we struggle to recall our adventures in and around Las Vegas, giving a unique perspective on the best places to tear it up in the entertainment capital of the world. Now, without further ado, here are your hosts, Alicia and David Ivey.
Hello and welcome to Pub Crawl. I am your host, David Ivey. Alicia's not here tonight because she's in California. And so I'm doing it solo. I think I smell too much like pizza, so she's like, I'm not hanging around at his place anymore. You know, I just noticed I said in the intro, it's funny, it's been on for a couple years, I finally listened to it. It said in and around Las Vegas. We don't do much around Las Vegas. We do it all in Las Vegas. Someone said the other day, like, oh, have you been out to, or have you been over to, it's like, you know what, if it's not within 20 miles of right here, I haven't done it. Since we moved here, I think we've been back to California twice, but to Hawaii twice, right. New Orleans once, and I think that's the only time we've ever left the valley, the Las Vegas Valley. So we mostly just do our adventures in Las Vegas. Thank you, live studio audience! And to the live chat room. Live chat room! What else do I do at this time of day? Talk to Alicia, look at her. I ogle her. You wet her? No, he's not here for ogling. So anyway, without further ado, let's just get right to the cocktail of the week, because I'm thirsty. Spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about Circus Circus. And the reason I'm saying that is because the cocktail of the week is called a lion tamer. You know, it's hard to find a... Wow. Excuse me. That was the... No, probably not. Anyway, it's hard to find a circus-themed cocktail. By the way, it was a big car we heard driving by. If you didn't hear it, but I just broke the fourth wall and told you what it was. So, it's a lion tamer. Basically, it's a SoCo and lime, which is actually a drink that people order, but it's got a dash of powdered sugar in it. So, what I'm going to do is fill a shaker with some ice. Never made one of these. I've actually never had a SoCo and lime. By the way, a little story about SoCo. You know, SoCo, or Southern Comfort as they call it, is a peach liqueur. So when you say you want a peach liqueur, you could say you want SoCo, but nobody knows it as a peach liqueur. Well, this is a little alcoholic bottle size, too. Yeah. It's shaped to fit in your hip pocket. You know, it's got the bend. So anyway, another thing I don't like about foreign recipes, you foreigners, is it's in either, this isn't even in Milla whatever, this is in parts. So I'm going to go 2 parts, which could mean anything. Whoa, that spun on me. I'm going to go 2 shots, I guess, of SoCo, which I'm not a big fan of Southern Comfort, even though I'm a big fan of their new advertising campaign with the big guy, with the big tan guy. 1 part Rose's sweetened lime juice, which is, I guess, according to Mr. Whitney, the way to make a gin and tonic sing.
Nectar of the gods.
With a little bit of Rose's lime juice. And, I do the sugar later. So we're going to shake this up. That doesn't seem like enough alcohol for me, but I'm going to pour it in. And it wants a dash of powdered sugar on the drink. We'll see. But by the way, kids, be careful with powdered sugar. Don't carry it around in your car. Police don't like it. And it gets on everything. Wow. I don't know what that would be, the point of that. But let's try it. That's great. That's outstanding. Oh my God. Don't order a lion tamer. I don't know if you could find one, but it's SoCo and lime. Oh my God, that's wonderful. Excuse me, I need a moment with my drink. Oh my God, it's great. Okay, that's one of the best drinks we've ever made here, by the way. That is absolutely, I wish Alicia was here to taste that. But right now she's watching this from the airport. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on to talking about your place and mine, Circus Circus in our, what's that? Oh, we'll get a break and then we'll get on to Pub Crawl Adventure where we talk about Circus Circus.
3, 2, 1. Oh, I need to come up with something funny to say.
gee.
3, 2, 1. Wow. But the co-host. Really, I have to say watching. Well, I'm doing.
That's how you do it. You dare
Really?
watch. There
Okay.
you go.
I got it. We
are the Odds Couple.
Hi, my name is Scott Pritchard.
And I am Anthony Padilla.
You're watching the Vegas Video Network.
You are.
You are. We are too.
So, check this out. I'm going to talk about Circus Circus, and I know there's a love-hate thing with Circus Circus, but before I get into this whole Circus Circus fiasco, I miss themed places, and this is a themed place. This is my Andy Rooney. This is a themed place, and there used to be a themed place. No, I love Circus Circus. I like Excalibur. I like Circus Circus. I used to like Treasure Island. We still kind of like it okay. I kind of miss this. When I said to a few people we're doing Circus Circus, they're like, oh, that crap hole. I'm like, well, okay, it's not nice. It's not a very lovely place to hang out. But you know what? It is what it is, and I love it. We did a couple trips here over the last couple weeks, trying different times, over the weekend, at evenings, and just to kind of get the general vibe of the joint. It's not as good as Excalibur. I like Excalibur a lot better if I had to go to one of them, if you're going to go to a themed kid central kind of place. But you know what? I like it better than a lot of the fancy places. It might be better than, some of the new fancy places. I won't mention anything out loud, but if you know what I'm saying. So I did I looked up the history of the place. It was built in '68 by Jay Sarno, really super famous. It had no hotel in it. They put a hotel in 1972. It's one of the final places on the Strip. The Riviera is another one. We're talking 60s Vegas. When I was a kid, we used to go there and loved it. But that was the only option. In the 80s, you had no, until Excalibur opened. I don't even know when Excalibur opened, but that was the only other option to go for kids. We used to go there, so I've got a lot of fond memories of hanging out there as a child. But oh my God, that drink is so good. Oh my Lord. Okay. So anyway, Circus Circus. It's a fun toilet. I was looking at what's the movie? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Had some great scenes. What did they say about Circus Circus? It was it's what America would be doing. It's what the free world would be doing if the Nazis had won the war. So it really is that kind of over the top, ridiculous place. I did realize that we went there about 5 times in the last 2 weeks. Now, if you like hanging out with Latino children, this is the place to be. I got to tell you that. It is, it's about a 90-10 ratio with Latino children and people. It's fantastic. The children in general, but no, most of them happen to be Latino. The buffet, I've never been to. I did a whole big Yelp thing. I read every review on Yelp, everything on Urban Spoon, everything I can get my hands on the buffet. And people are trashing this buffet. It's the worst buffet in the world. But after I got to the bottom, I was like, man, this place must be really bad. I looked at the prices. Breakfast is $10, lunch is $11, and dinner's $12. What do you want for $12? It's like, that is not a bad price for a buffet. I don't know. I mean, how bad could it be? Now, I haven't eaten in there. I mean, it's not going to get you sick. It's just probably just kind of that buffet food. Whatever. Fine. I'm going to say buffet, go right ahead. Last night, we finally went to the steakhouse. And every time you mention Circus Circus to anybody, they go, oh, go to the steakhouse, go to the steakhouse, go to the steakhouse. It is kind of an oasis in Circus Circus. There's no kids. Circus Circus, everything's sticky. I think it's from all the kids' fingerprints and chocolatey, sticky fingers on everything. The steakhouse, the only way I can describe it is Golden Steer. We went with the Whitneys to Golden Steer. It felt just like that. It had that old school steakhouse vibe. The ceiling was stained glass. They had their own dry aging room right there off of the bar. They cook everything in the middle of the steakhouse. So I could barely stand the smell. I wanted to start chomping on my chair. It had that burned meat smell on everything. It was wonderful. We didn't eat there. I was shocked at the prices. It's really expensive. I'm not saying it's not really expensive. It's steakhouse prices. Filet, I think, was $53. The porterhouse was $64. It's like real steakhouse prices in Circus Circus. It's always voted the best steakhouse. I don't know if that's because of where it's located. It's just the juxtaposition of it's in Circus Circus and it's good, so it even seems better than it actually is. You can see 47 for New York, 49 for the porterhouse, ribeyes 50, bone-in ribeye. I mean, that's steakhouse prices. It's not outrageous, but it's surely not a deal. That's for darn sure.
That's on the high end, price-wise.
You're right. That's Golden Steer prices. That's all the big major steakhouse prices. But we got 2 cocktails. We got 2 martinis. They do have a happy hour it's like 4 to 6 or whatever it is. Every day, everything's half price, which wouldn't be a bad deal because Alicia and I went last night. We got 2 martinis, and they were huge martinis, which I do respect. Those big, 12-ounce martinis. And it was $28 for 2 of them. Again, for Circus Circus, that's a lot of money. But for a steakhouse, that's what you're going to pay. You're going to pay $12 a piece, plus whatever. They closed at 10. They stayed open for us for an hour. And they cleared off all the bottles, but they were still making drinks. I think they seemed really nice. The people in there were really good, like steakhouses are. It seemed to be all dudes that worked there, and they were all very, wanted to cater to our needs. But I would go there for a cocktail, especially happy hour, 2 for 1. I don't know if they have any food deals, but it doesn't matter. The drinks were great. All high end, Maker's Mark and Bullet, and I think we got Bombay Sapphire, and the whole nine. The only other place, I think it was during the Olympics, I guess, we went to the West Bar. That's the furthest bar in the back. We walked by it the other night. That bar is always too crowded. It's the bar by the parking lot, down by the lobby. We were there. We watched America lose to Canada, which broke my heart in hockey. But the West Bar, it's a normal, typical bar, nothing special. They have all the drinks. There's a great actual March Madness going on right now. $4 Jameson, $9 pitchers of beer, and $4. They say it twice. And $4 Jameson shots at the casino bars, which you can't beat that. So that's not too bad. So we went West Bar. We walked through there. It was really crowded, kind of jumping. The only place I would really recommend in all of there to go to besides the steakhouse is Rock and Rita's. We covered this before, maybe 6 months ago. Rock and Rita's, which I think I put it in wrong. I don't think it's Rock and Rita's. They have it Rock and Rita's, don't they? I thought it was Rock in Rita's, but it's owned by the Kahunaville people, which is in TI. It's a big flair bar. They've got 2 huge bars. They've got a big tractor trailer truck out front. They serve drinks in toilet bowls, little mini toilet bowls. It's one of those over-the-top spring break party bars. But I will say, we were there 3 times in the last week and a half, and it was a blast every time. You get there at first, you're kind of annoyed. They have a metal bar. They give you shakers. They give everybody a shaker. Whoa. That popped right off of there. You know what? I did that the other night at the pizza joint to Scott. I laid a bottle of champagne down, and the cork just popped off. It was, I know. I don't know my own strength. I squeezed it. We get to Rock and Rita's. It's a metal bar. They give everybody a shaker, and everybody starts banging on the metal bar with the shaker. That's the point. So it's this incredibly annoying racket at this bar. And you hate it. It's like, oh, my God. And every girl's doing the wobbling dance. Do you know the wobbling? I don't know how to describe wobbling.
Why don't you show us, Dave?
That I can't do, but it's called the wobblin' or the wobble. It's still called the wobble. Anyway, so after a few drinks, and they have really strong, big, ridiculous drinks, eventually you're with a shaker and you're wobbling. So it's like, it's one of those bars. You just have to like bite the bullet and just have fun. It's a lot of girls, and a lot of them are a little on the heavy side, and they're all having a great time, and they're banging on the bar, and I mean not banging on the bar, they're slamming their shakers on the bar, but it sounds even better. They're banging on the bar. In fact, I think we have a show title, banging on the bar at Circus Circus, it ended up being a blast. We were there a couple times. We had a great time. You start to talk to people next to you. They're doing the free shots where they're pouring it in everybody's mouths. It turns out to be a really good place. Rockin' Rita's. The food, it's exactly what you would think it would be. It's barbecue, meatloaf sandwiches, hot dogs, mac and cheese bites. It's everything you would absolutely expect from a place like that. I almost think it's better than Kahunaville, which is, again, over at TI. Same company, world-class flair, which I can give a crap about. But you know what? Every once in a while, they do flair so good, even I'm impressed. Like, that actually is pretty impressive. They got the bottle, and they're doing the shoulder, the elbows. And so it's actually not a bad joint. If you have to go to Circus Circus because you have kids and that's where you're staying or whatever the reason is, you know what? Find Rockin' Rita's. It'll be your hideaway. If you're a partier, if you're not a partier and you're just a dude and you want to get away, go to the steakhouse. If you're just low end and fun, like we are, you go right outside the door. 2 feet or 20 feet out the door is Slots of Fun, which is a whole separate casino, but not really. It's related. It's connected. It's even on their site. Slots of Fun, which I don't even know what the grammar of that is. It should be Slots of Fun, but it's Slots of Fun. Anyway, it's been there for 100 years. It's dirt cheap. It's amazingly cool. They used to have dollar hot dogs. Their famous thing was dollar, but they took that Nathan's in there, which I'm actually not a fan of. I'm a fan of Nathan's, but I'm not a fan of them not having the dollar footlong. That was kind of the half the draw of that place. You get six beers a bucket for $15 on the Strip. That's unusual and that's fantastic. So that's great. They have an arcade, so they have like Miss Pac-Man's and all the things, but they also have slots and video poker if you're a gambler. Slots of Fun, I think, is great. They've done a couple things in like. You don't even have to. You just kind of walk out a little carpet and you're at Slots of Fun. When Alicia and I were coming up in the world, the Carousel bar, it's gone. They took it out. Remember it from Fear and Loathing? They got drunk on the bar that was, it was a carousel. And it actually spun. Alicia and I had a couple drinks at that bar before when it spun and you had to get on it and it just went around in circles. It's gone. Now it's a gift shop. So I can't talk about how awesome that bar is. But the Carousel Bar used to be awesome. So they've apparently made some changes. And when I looked again through Yelp and a couple of the Vegas websites, I've learned that they did a lot of bad things in Circus Circus. I don't know if that's because it's MGM now. I don't know what the deal is. But there's been some downgrades. But anyway, the Rockin' Rita's is your go-to. Oh, the Cactus Bar. We did that. I think Scott might have mentioned that too. It's in the Adventure Dome. Avoid the Adventure Dome at all costs, except during Halloween. It's pretty awesome, but they do have a bar there called the Cactus Bar. It's not too bad. They have a happy hour. That's not too bad either. But again, if you're stuck in Circus Circus, which I think is cool, Rockin' Rita's is awesome, and Slots of Fun is awesome, and the steakhouse, apparently the food's great, the drinks are awesome, so I don't mind it. I'm a convert. I think Circus Circus is okay with me. The only other thing to mention on there is nope. That's it. That was our run through Circus Circus. Let's take a quick little time out and do a Hey Bart.
Traditional media believes that after about 3 minutes, you'll tune out. Most Vegas media companies think if it doesn't jiggle, you won't tune in. At the Vegas Video Network, we think both are wrong. The Vegas Video Network is the first and only live online broadcast network that specializes in insider news and expert views about Vegas. We combine great storytelling with the ability to watch when and where you want on your computer, mobile device, or television. Discover the real Las Vegas. Visit VegasVideoNetwork.com.
Have I mentioned that this drink is fantastic? I'm going to go home and make like 4 more of these. I cannot believe what just happened. So I was talking to the girl at work today, the bartender, and she goes, "Oh, what are you doing on the show tonight?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to make this thing called a Lion Tamer." She said, "What is it?" She's one of those pro bartenders trained by the Hilton and whatever. And she goes, and I explained it. She goes, "Oh, it's a SoCo and lime with some sugar in it." I go, "Oh, is that a drink?" Anyway, it's amazing. Get it. So next, SoCo and lime. That's gonna be my go-to. Oh, that's so good. So anyway, hey bartender, we got a bunch of great emails, but this one stumped me. So I actually have to read it because I'm like, this has got me. Dave, Alicia, and Scott coming down next month, and on our last trip, we drove to Lee's Liquor, which is Lee's Discount Liquor, by the way, store on Rainbow Boulevard. That's quite a ways out, by the way. Car rental doesn't look like it's going to in the cards this trip. So is there a decent place you could recommend on near the strip? We would have Tanqueray Rangpur Gin, strong lime flavor result from Rangpur limes, ginger and bay leaves, and Hum, which is a Hum spirit, and a good beer selection wouldn't hurt either. Thanks a lot for the great podcasts, Eric. This had me stumped because there aren't any good liquor stores near the strip. There's strip liquor right here where we get our stuff, which is right behind the Wynn. But kind of in a kind of obvious way, they don't want any liquor stores on the strip. They don't want you buying bottled liquor because that means where are you going to drink it? In your room, somewhere that's not out spending money. So that's really hard to find. But then I started thinking and go, wait a minute. Our secret go-to thing nowadays has been the Sundry store. And if you're in a fancy enough Sundry store, like the Wynn or the Wynn and Encore have a great Sundry store, Bellagio, they have great selections of this kind of stuff. I don't know if they would particularly have Rangpur gin, Tanqueray, but they might. They don't have the hugest selection because, again, they don't really want you to do that. But you can get some super high-end stuff. We were at the Sundry store. If I haven't mentioned before, what we do, we go into a casino. Usually our new MO is Alicia and I will go right to the Sundry store and get a couple big beers because they're usually $3 or $4 or 2 for $6 or whatever they are. And you get a huge big can of Coors Light or whatever it is for 2 of them for $6. And we can walk around and have that and drink that. So we started to notice recently, in fact, we were with the Whitneys at Venetian Sundry store and went, wait a minute, they've got those little, what do they call them, airplane bottles of booze, and they're like $5. That's 2 drinks cheaper than the bar. So we started buying some of that stuff, and then I started realizing, oh my God, there's a whole world of booze in these Sundry stores. The one at the Hard Rock has this huge selection of sake. Sake, as they call it on the Food Network. I used to call it sake. So you never know. It doesn't hurt, especially if you're staying at a fancy joint, to go into the Sundry store. They might have a lot of this stuff. I don't know what you're going to do with it, except walk around with a bottle of Tanqueray Rangpur and just drink it. I don't know what you're going to do with that. I did remember that, in fact, good friend Jacob, who's sitting right over there, and us, went to, if you like gin, by the way, there's only one bar in the state that has this, Oxley Gin. Remember that, yeah. Jacob? And it was the East Side Bar at Encore. It was the best thing maybe the third best thing I've ever put in my mouth. This thing was amazing. Oxley Gin at the East Side Bar. There's also places like Downtown Cocktail Room and Herbs and Rye you can look up. These guys have huge selections of alcohol. They're bars. You have to buy it by the glass. You can't just buy a bottle of it. But that's going to be your best bet, is to find these high-end bars. Wynn and Encore's got Patricia, whatever, Alicia knows her name. That's the head bartender there. they're going to have all this stuff. But buying a bottle of it, I don't think you're going to have any luck. But Lee's, there's closer Lee's discount liquors than there is the one on Rainbow. So you could probably find a closer one. But I would just hit the sundry stores, buy something, or hit the high-end bars. By the way, or any place in Cosmo. I bet they've got that because they're going to make some special drink out of it. But I appreciate the email because it had me completely baffled. Like, where liquor store on the Strip? There isn't, or there isn't any that I know of that, besides Walgreens and Strip liquor. But anyways, can you tell I'm tired from making pizza? By the way, we make pizza for a living now. So
Are you dreaming pizza? Are you dreaming pepperonis? Are you doing that yet?
Since we opened our pizzeria last night, I can't tell what's reality or not. We had a really good friend of ours. I can't work every day, and we've got employees. We had someone working for us last night, a really good friend of ours. I had a dream. I was glad it was a dream that I went into work today and they were still working. Like I didn't relieve them, and they were still there because we own Wicked Pizza, as you can see. And if you do wickedpizzalasvegas.com, you get all the info. And I had a dream that I walked in and she was still there. She's like, oh my God, I've been working here 12, 16 hours or whatever because you didn't come to relieve me. I woke up panicked, like, oh my God. Oh, wait a minute. So it turns out it wasn't the case, but I'm dreaming pizza.
You've updated your menu. It looks very nice.
Yes, now we do, because I'm not good at taking orders. I'm good at making pizza, but not taking orders. So our new menu is you just check the box of what you want and I'll make it for you.
Very good.
So I took that element out of it.
That's good.
But anyway, so that's what we've been doing. So if you want to find, if you come into town and want to find us, that's probably where we're going to be, is over at the Underworld at Making Pizzas. But because Alicia's not here, I feel so lonely, and me and my drink. I feel like that guy at the bar, just me and my drink. Me and my Southern Comfort Lime, which I might have to stop on the way home and get one of those. But anyways, thank you, live studio audience. Look at you. Thank you, live chat room. Those guys are out of control. Jeez. And by the way, so speaking of that, Twitter, we are Trek Vegas on Twitter. The Vegas Video Network is on Twitter. Big things happening on Vegas Video Network right now. Just keep tuned. That's what I do. You know what? Now that I'm working so much, I still can't get enough Vegas talk. So I'm going back and just listening to Vegas podcasts and Vegas Video Network. I do the iTunes channel and subscribe because it's just like I want to get like out into Vegas. So I know how everybody feels. Oh, that reminds me. Just a quick note. Robert Scott came into town this weekend. We had a great time with him. One of our really good friends in the network. He came in for Viva Las Vegas, which just happened last weekend, which is the best weekend, I think, in Vegas history ever. It's the Rockabilly weekend that just happened Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It just ended 2 days ago, and it was a blast. We had one of the best times of our lives. And so he came in. I took him to Ellis Island for the first time. I broke his cherry, which ain't an easy task for that guy. Because he's kind of a Vegas file. He's been everywhere. But so we had a great time. So anyway, so thanks to that. But anyway, if you email, we are pubcrawl@vegasvideonetwork.com. Roku, we own Roku. Own it. You buy a Roku, it's like we're right on the front page. It's like Vegas Video Network. We own that thing. What else have we got? iTunes, audio and video. I've been listening to a lot of the audio of all the shows. I'm thinking about getting into sports betting, so I'm going to listen to the Odds Couple. But it's all right now. It's basketball and baseball, and I know jack about either one. So I'm like, it's all college basketball. I know so little about college basketball. They're talking about teams I never even heard of the college. Like, I don't even know. They have a college there? I have no idea. And they'll mention the name, like, I don't even know what state that is. So I don't really bet. Anyway, they're a pretty good show, though. Anyway, Pub Crawl does urge you to drink responsibly, which I'm doing as well. And remember, we may leave stuff out, but we don't make stuff up until 2 weeks from now, where I will have my co-host back. Cheers. Have a SoCo and Lime.